So as always, timestamps exist in case you want to skip forward, because we're definitely going to think a bit, not on exactly the Embark, but we'll just say what's on. Hey, the Shelled Mosquito Nest. We will, no orders, slower traders, but 4 Embark points with 40 insects, which, you know, might not be the greatest thing, but no orders, well, all on resolve. Now we do have, or is it slower traders? I'm going crazy. I think it says so, right? Yeah. So traders are a lot slower. We're in the lush royal woodlands for wood, but as for which caravan, I'm probably gonna take beavers. Let's just be honest with myself, and we'll see what we can do. We should have the bonus embark points for the seal settlement that we'll do, but just to actually be sure of that, let me just make sure. Yeah, so we have some time left. We just need to hit the silver seal. And I think we should be able to do that. Am I going absolutely crazy here? No. So we should be able to hit the seal. If not, I mean, we still have another settlement left, so it's not like it's the worst thing in the world. But yeah, let's just get this settlement going. So, or picking what to choose on Embark. There's some strategy about Embark points that you can use, but if I'm sitting on the Embark points I see here, I might as well just use them, I figure. Do I want to gamble on this? I've been, it's come to my knowledge that, well, I'm not exactly that I've been told, but it's come to my knowledge that taking camps may or may not be good at times, but for the purposes of this settlement, I think, because we can hit a 2 out of 3 here, if for no other reason than maybe we run into something we like, but we will take the, herbalist camp, and off we'll go in a minute. So hopefully I didn't already name one of these that name 4-4. But we will move on to Prestige 6, and yeah, this is going to be some pain. I'm waiting for the timestamp because we're loading. Sorry. Silence. But as we get into the mysteries, important matters, impatience grow slower during Drizzle. And let's see what else we have. No glades during storm. No opening glades during storm, specifically. Species resolve drops faster. No favoring during storm, pretty much. Or, well, no favoring while the hearth is being corrupted. Sorry. And then complex food and services, if possible. And this is charged rain. So complex food and services needed. Or otherwise, every 15 seconds, a villager that is not protected will have a 5% chance of perishing. And now buildings cost more. And by building costs increase, yeah, everything is around increased by 50% rounded up against the player. So woodcutters camps are now 3 parts instead of 2. Camps are normally 15 wood and 5 parts, so on and so forth. You get the idea. So let's see what we do here. We can wait on this. I would like something for planks because we're in the Royal Woodlands, but let's see what else. And then we got foxes. We got a fox and a beaver to start out. So pickled goods seems to be the way to go. Let's let me think about that, because we also want to do services, if I recall. Let me see here. I think we had vegetables. I'm going crazy. No, mushrooms. Either way, though, if we can grab one of them, yeah, so we'll do eggs instead, because eggs can drop. Again, my rationale is that I usually like using or eating into food that I can get in the settlement. Because if for no other reason than events, then sometimes we want to make complex food as well. But as we sit here wondering what we do here, let's take a quick look around. So, as always, I normally like to cut towards a Forbidden Glade. That's not always feasible, but in my case, I'm just saying that that's what I want to do. Otherwise, yeah, probably going to go southwest. So, in towards this small glade, but this down south towards this Forbidden Glade, if we get the chance, I think is the plan here. But we will set up 2 woodcutters camps. Keep in mind, we have no orders, so any reputation points I'm planning to get through are probably going to be through events and through resolve. So here's hoping. Knowing that, I do need to really play for resolve. So saying that now would make me consider, yeah, skewers. Pie can't use pie for anything here. And then no reliable copper ore. Yes, there's clay, and a byproduct is copper ore at 50%, but we really can't rely on it too much based on RNG. With that in mind, scale. So now, really, I'm just looking at my blueprints really quickly. But I don't think we're gonna do it. So, without any orders, what do I need this clay for? Probably for making containers. If nothing else, bricks. We'll see. And then mushrooms is more a meat product, and we do have a 2-star thingy, but I guess while we don't have the wood, we'll just cut everywhere else. It's nice we have a bunch of small glades, but we might need to play a bit riskier in due time, so... Well, we will still cut... we will still cut towards... Oh my goodness, my words. We will still cut towards the dangerous glade as well, but... I think for the moment, we're just going to go gung-ho. We'll make some paths while we're sitting here, and off we go. Let's also not use some coal in the hearth. And I feel like I forgot some other stuff, but we'll find out. So for the first year, I do want to think about what I'm going to do for Resolve, but until we can reliably get things for Resolve, not really a point. So again, and just to go over for those who don't know, you essentially get 2 wood per tree charge used because, well, as you can see here, a byproduct is wood at 100%, resin at 15, plant fiber at 10, and eggs at 5. I had to cut myself off because I realized that we were still on cut all trees. But, anywho. Yeah, we'll cut into these trees. We will try to build as many shelters as possible, but we should probably aim for complex housing as well. We have some planks, but I would rather use those for something else at the moment, if we can. We haven't taken a blueprint yet, so that's kind of a moot point. But more villagers or 10 amber, which we don't need because... Well, do we? No. Trading. Going crazy. I thought I can't trade because I recently did a bandit camp modifier. But you know what? We'll go the path of more resistance and take a villager for each glade. Not that I'm planning to cut into too many, but I think 2 newcomers per caravan might be a bit much. And you know what? Let's just take some blueprints now. So, with that in mind, yeah, since we're gonna get clay, and we do want pottery and crystallized dew for fox housing, if we get it, we'll see. Otherwise, might have to pick guild house. That would be nice. Pickled goods would also be nice. But if I never see guild house again, that's gonna hurt. Still though... out of curiosity, I just need to ask myself a question really quickly. Dude, I always forget what prestige level. No, our packs of goods are still worth a lot. So, we can take guild house. The next question would be how to get that amber, but... And yeah, the granary would probably be my pick if I want to be a bit safer. But let's go guild house instead. Kiln would also be great. But granary would probably... Do I really not want this? Because yeah, the brickyard we can make pottery. And then the pickled goods we would toss. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the granary against my better instinct to take the guild house, and then we'll see. If the guild house comes again, though, we'll take it. But this time. And yeah, let's see. Yeah, beanery. That is for the foxes. But clothes would also help out. Keeping in mind, though, yeah, I do need services filled at some point, and we have the complex food with pickled goods. So either way, I would have needed both. But I'm thinking now, probably clothier for packs of building materials and coats when I need it. But packs of building materials so I can sell. Because we will be getting a lot of wood. Now, we do want a plank building on top. But if we're directly trying to make building materials, in my opinion, I feel that would be a good choice to pick. And yeah, we're just going to cut for a moment just to get a bunch of wood. But we do want some resolve here. So we'll set up some basic housing. Actually, we'll just set up all the housing. These will take first priority, and then we will quickly make a park, because you pretty much just make a park. At this point of our lives, when we have like 8 or more villagers specifically, might as well just set up the park immediately, I figure. But soon after that, having a plank building would help out as well, because that would help with building materials. But just if we're strictly making building materials, then that will help just as much as a plank building. But a plank building would help better because you need planks to do a lot of other stuff in your settlement, just in general. And away we go. Now, if I get a human, if I get humans as my third villager race here, I am going to be a bit sad because I would have liked to put a human on the hearth earlier. But foxes will help it too. I'll take the good and don't think about the bad. Like, hey, not having lizards means less resilient race. But I won't say a lot, but I definitely know that there is kind of debate on what races to pick. But overall, for villagers, you work with what you've got. That's really all I can think about saying. Though that being said, I just realized here that we don't have anyone producing food, so I really should get going on that. But let's just complete cutting here for a moment before I move on. We can last the season with these eggs. What we won't last on is the rest of the eggs. But for the moment, while we have some planks to work with, or wood to work with, sorry, we'll just let it rock. So basically, just clear out these trees over here, and then we will get to making this herbalist camp. Unless this fox finishes all these shelters first, but really, food is going to be a worry soon, but it's not the immediate worry. So yeah, as these beavers no longer have anything to really do, we will phase out this woodcutter's camp, and off we go. Now right after that, we will yeah, let's get these shelters made, let's get this park made, and then we can concentrate on this stonecutter's camp. Not because I'm just sitting here like going, oh, I just want to make it, but because we do have a brickyard, and getting some bricks made would probably help for what I need to make. I have a strict feeling. This is kind of a call-out, so it's not really what I need, but I am making the call now. Also, we are running out of food, so maybe I should just double up on this mushroom node, but okay. So here's hoping. We will have enough food for the storm, I'm pretty sure, but maybe I should make a second herbalist camp instead. Yeah, I'm just gonna double up on this. I feel a bit worried, so let's just double up on mushrooms here for the moment. Although, I just realized that this granary would be the next best thing. No, brickyard. That's why we needed it. But we need to get into... No, you know... no, we'll double up for now. We'll double up. With that said, though, I completely forgot that we do need a trading post. But we'll handle that during the storm if we need the resolve. I'm pretty sure we don't. Oh, we might actually need it. Well, hey. This is cut a bit more around the hearth here. Might as well. But yeah, we do want to open up these glades here really shortly. You know what? While these beavers are resting, let's just focus on the stonecutter's camp. My reasoning is, yeah, we want to get this brickyard made and started off on in due time. But we also want to essentially make this granary, which is not going to be the highest priority, so keep this in mind. Well, actually deactivate it, but we'll keep it in mind. And then we'll move on. Again, we're keeping in mind that we also have no orders at the moment, so yeah, it'd probably be in my best interest to take care of those things. In the meanwhile, also need to make these workstations, I realize. So as we enter this storm season and slow down a bit, let me plop down this crude workstation. Yeah, so we can stay on one resolve for the moment, but I think we're gonna play it a bit safe and not cut into the dangerous glade immediately. Maybe that's a very bad call to make, but I'm just gonna... I figure I don't feel I'll be able to deal with this Dangerous Glade event immediately. So we're going to play it a bit safe while I'm setting things up. Also, part of that is that I don't think that... with the amount of villagers I have right now, I want more villagers before I figure out what to do in this Dangerous Glade event. But either way, it's a gamble. Now, keeping that in mind, or keeping the Dangerous Glade events in mind too, it's not like I need to particularly do something. Are we out of parts, by the way? We are out of parts. That's why they're not working on that. Well, if that's the case, let's put you guys back in this woodcutter's camp. So, yeah. So, we hit hostility 0, but we went back up to 1 because of the impatience point we got, but that's fine for the moment. And yeah, we want to essentially get more villagers to harvest more resources before I figure out what I exactly want to do, I feel. But we'll see. Otherwise, if I don't make bricks here, I really should instead make pottery, because I don't particularly need the bricks right now, question mark? Yeah. In fact, we actually need fabric, so we'll keep that in mind as we move forward here. So let's actually get rid of this herbalist camp, which would have been the stonecutter's camp, but instead, since we are in need of fabric, we'll make fabric now. Can we accept these newcomers now as well? I think we can. 6 planks, or essentially 2 fabric and a pipe. And lizards would be our next. And I think we all take pickled goods, so we'll take the lizards now. And there goes resolve. Because we don't have the thingy. If that's the case, let's improve our resolve really quickly here. But right after that, yeah, let's get all of these made, and then we just harvested all the mushrooms, so we do need to get past this storm quickly. But we can assign people around this settlement for the moment and not feel as bad. Yeah, so if that's the case, oh, we can't even make that. Never mind, I lied. I was about to say, oh, we can make some, we can make a beaver house. No, we could not. But anywho. So, do we have any that? Oh, we have. There's so they can actually cut. There's a one-way path down here. We might as well have them cut into it. But let's just have everyone else work on things at the moment. So planks right after this fabric. We'll put people in the main warehouse because otherwise people will not take things out. A makeshift post would be interesting. But I don't exactly want to make anything at the moment. So we'll see. In fact, I should cut into these dangerous glades over to the north first, but I think, again, we'll play it a bit safe and... No, we'll cut into the... I was going to say risky. We'll play it a bit... Yeah, we'll play it safe. Yeah, we will play it safe, if I can speak correctly. And cut into a small glade instead of the dangerous glade. Oh my goodness, I'm losing my words. But anywho. So, let's make some pottery while we try to make pickled goods. Operant word on try. Also, we now have fabric here, so I didn't need to do the thing, but it's not going to be that much of a loss. We're already making fabric, so I might as well continue making it. And we'll just put 2 beavers in the thing for now. At least have them haul things over to the granary. As we enter Drizzle Year 2. Farms, gain 1 amber for every 50 wood. And then trade route stuff. But I think, funny enough, I'll take the amber. The mushrooms are interesting, but we don't have a farm. Do we not have a farm? No, we don't have a farm. So let's take what we will be using, and let's cut into a glade here. Let's actually cut into a bunch of glades while we're sitting here. So can't use the granary. Let's let this beaver finish this fabric, but we will cut into. Oh, let's cut into these glades up to the north, and be happy with that. Yeah, that's the plan for today, and we'll see what we get. Actually move this. Sorry. But yeah, let's see what's in these two small glades. So we're taking the same hostility, but for less, because in two small glades you don't get a 2-star node. Berries and eggs. Eggs we can use for pickled goods. The berries will have to wait though. Although the herbalist camp would have been very, very useful. But we have the lizards, we'll just use the trapper's camp here. Because we will need the thingy. And then mushrooms here as well that can also be used for pickled goods. But yeah, we want to make pickled goods. That's the plan for this year. Still though, I think I still want beavers left and right. Let me just take this beaver away. As much as I want to... Yeah, we don't really need a beaver on this hearth. Because we will be sacrificing wood primarily. And we'll have a bunch of wood, is what I'm trying to say. Zhorig should appear... Yeah, traders are a lot slower, so I have some time to build up my amber too, funny enough. But in the meanwhile, yeah, we'll make use of these eggs with these lizards. We should have enough parts for this. Nope, we do not. So we'd have to cut down a thing. Yeah, we actually just don't have the parts. We do want the clay still, though. And we also need the food, so you know what? We really don't have the parts? Where'd all my parts go? I mean, aside from this, yeah, we would have to destroy Woodcutter's camp. And we don't particularly need the extra wood, so I guess it's fine for the moment. So that would mean we have parts layout. We did have parts. I'm going crazy. Am I going crazy? If that's the case, let's make use of this. Now, we don't have a warehouse close to this, but that would cut down the time I need immensely. But let's make a few more planks here first. We'll let these, yeah, we'll let them make these foxes make the planks. Or actually, we'll just have one there. And then let's have everyone being used. I have 3 people available. Yeah, they were the beavers, but we also want to make things. I did not need to take away the fox from that, from the crude workstation. And I think we'll just try to spam a few planks here for the purposes of making beaver houses. Can I make lizard houses as well? I can, but we need bricks. Funny enough, which we can make, but we're already making pickled goods. We'll go for it. We won't set up drizzle water yet, as much as I'd like to, because beavers, lizards, foxes, they all share, as you've seen, pickled goods, so hey. I would like to do more, but we'll stay on it. This is not particularly a starvation strategy, but we are just going to eat pickled goods left and right. Now, we are actually still starving right now, because, yeah, I've set things the way they are, but hey, we should be okay. If we're not okay, let's actually take someone away to make more pickled goods, basically. Although we do need to make the pottery to make up for it, but you get the point of what I'm trying to say, I think. We should be able to handle this, though. It's a bit weird because, yeah, all of these camps are a bit far away, so the travel time is a bit much. But if we can make these pickled goods in time, we should be fine. We're not going to be fine. We'll find out. Yeah, we'll find out. It's also because we only have 2 lizards. But if we can save these foxes, we'll have to just juggle the resolve. I didn't need to. I could have them eat from the... Yeah, now, you know what? While we're still making pickled goods, let's not take the risk here. And let's continue cutting around the hearth, just for, if nothing else, more space. So it'll take a while, but these lizards should recover. The foxes, on the other hand, it's going to be a bit dicey. Yeah, so I can't let this go until the lizards eat something. And actually, they do need to deliver these goods now. And we'll see what happens. It would be nice. They might not recover in time. We might just lose a fox here. Shouldn't have been that way. I shouldn't have them starve, but I did what I did. Yep, there we go. And that's it happened to be the firekeeper as well, but... And now we're out of clay, so we are going to run out of materials. I should not have lost that fox, but what happened happened. Having you guys eat those pickled goods would help out, though. They will prioritize the food, so again, there's no reason for me not to have made them eat raw food. I did not, again, as I just said, I didn't need to lose that fox. But it happened. So while I'm sitting here, I think we have extra parts now. We might as well do something with them. Which, I guess my question would be, yeah, if we could set up this warehouse, I think things would be a lot nicer. So I'll prioritize that. And, yeah, we'll see if we can continue making pickled goods for long. It's going to be okay for a while, but we do need bricks eventually as well, which is going to make me feel a bit bad. Sea marrow, but again, we don't have the villagers or the parts at the moment. We do have blue resolve, which is great, but yeah, we're not really getting much from it. We need a cornerstone or a service building that gives us a way to indirectly get to reputation points, is what I'm trying to say. So let's find out. So yeah, definitely in the next thing... Oh, Jorg is going to come before the storm? Well, I don't want to cut into this glade immediately, though. So let's find out. But I definitely need to cut into a dangerous glade soon, because we will need it. So yeah. For the storm season, though, we should be okay on resolve. Especially since, yeah, we're continuing to make pickled goods. We should definitely be good. We can also use berries for it, but we've already set our sights on doing stuff. So yeah, basically having all of our people here is going to help out. And continuing to make planks, I think, is also going to continue to help out. But yeah, having an actual plank building would help. Anywho. So I think, yeah, planks, fabric, bricks are the three things in which you might not need it immediately, but you definitely want it, at least in your first 3 years. But I mean, if you have control over what you want to make, I mean, yeah, I don't need to be you don't need to be spamming these materials, but I feel I'll need them, so that's why I'm making them. But anywho, so once we make this beaver house, in fact, I should just preemptively set up the next level here. There's no reason for me not to. Yeah, here's Jorg, by the way. We don't really have anything to use, but we'll take a quick look. So, really what I'd be looking at is anything I can grab, but not really anything. 2 mushrooms, 1 insect. For every 10 scales, gain +1 to bait production, but that's not happening either, so yeah. Yeah, I don't think we're going to buy anything, so Jorg is just a dead trader here. But, we will, however... Oops. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I thought... Nope, that was a mistake. Hopefully my production doesn't suffer too much for that, but I did not mean... For some reason I thought that was a house, but the only house that looks like that are human houses, so there was no reason for me to have done that. But anywho. It was really funny, but I should not have done that. But anywho. So yeah, we can destroy this trapper's camp. We're not going to be opening another glade, so we can also just set up this second herbalist camp. Yeah, I know, dog. I made a mistake. I essentially just used up however long this takes, like probably like 45 seconds. I lost 45 seconds, but hey. I did what I did. As much as I would like to take these villagers right now, I don't think I can, right? Times 6, 23, 23, and then 4 would push me over, but I do want this part. Yeah, I know. I could disable a woodcutter. Yeah, I could disable a woodcutter. I can even disable 2. But for the sake of more wood production, we're not going to do that. So, yeah, I guess we will take an extra villager, is what I'm trying to say. But in the meanwhile... So yeah, I want to keep this warehouse here. That does mean anything that happens in this dangerous glade is not going to be as great, but we'll see. If that's the case, I probably should have made bricks. Yeah. In my mind, again, so if I were a more knowledgeable viceroy here, I would consider what event could be here. Now, there's a lot to consider there, but even just remembering which events are where. But what I'm trying to say is I can try to plan with what I have. So if it's an event that needs pottery, sure. If it's an event that needs bricks, sure. And so on and so forth. And if I really wanted to be calculating, I would try to... Well, actually, I would need more pottery, basically. And I think, yeah, pickled goods being shared among all 3 is definitely going to save me a lot of resources number-wise, essentially. I could also double up on these mushrooms, but while we're just sitting here, I think it's fine. Now, if I open this dangerous glade and find fertile soil, I am going to be a bit sad, because it has... I often have not run into immediate... I mean, even just among these small glades, I didn't run into any fertile soil, but I'm not usually expecting fertile soil from small glades. I would expect them on a coin flip chance out of the first glades dangerous glades I open to have fertile soil. But again, that's a whole other thing to think about entirely. And while we're sitting here, I can't just push... I might as well just push the foxes to blue resolve. And we're going to continue cutting these trees here. Probably won't cut that many trees, but we'll just get as much wood as possible, is what I'm trying to say. I also should have been using... making packs of provisions for the purposes of trade routes, possible trade routes, which probably wouldn't have made use of immediately, but it is something to think about. On an offhand comment, copper bars, I almost said ore, copper bars and crystallized dew is a kind of goods in itself, but really not. Let's see, let's even calculate 1.1 amber for, yeah, an overall like 0.3 amber's worth in value positive going plus on, as opposed to, say, you're making even just with these well, it's 0.3 here, never mind, I lied. But if you have a building for it, it makes a bit more sense to make goods than trying to sell crystallized dew and copper bars. But anywho, so yeah, this mushroom node is going to be depleted quickly. And I think this walk would have been an extra 4 seconds. Doesn't sound like a huge number, but I promise you it is a bit of a walk. 3 pottery, 10, 5, 50 pickled, 50 sub ingredients. So, and what I mean by that is producing pickled goods 10 times requires 30 pottery and 50 of a sub product, of which I will usually have. That's why I'm sitting here talking about how I will always need more pottery. And that's why I haven't been making bricks, even though that's something to think about. But yeah, as you see here, now we're out of clay for pottery. So, as we enter Drizzle Season Year 3, let us see what we want to do. Let's actually cut into this dangerous glade before we decide on what else we want to do. An extra lizard house would boost our resolve, although I don't think... Yeah, we don't have the bricks nor the fabric. But I should take a look. 3 plant fiber per minute. Otherwise, resources last longer. Mushroom production increases by 1 plus every 25 times. We can afford to wait, kind of. Unless I wanted to take the plant fiber route, but... Let's sit here and find out. So... Let's sit here and find out. So these 6 villagers will essentially be used for this. We do have fertile soil, for better or worse. We also now have a workshop for better everything. Except for bricks, but you get the point. And then we have this altar of decay. We can use the resin for that. So basically, a villager, but also impatience for hostility lowering. Which is interesting, and then we lose a villager for this, but I mean, if it were a reputation point, I definitely would have gone for it, but I think we'll take it for its use, especially since apparently if we get charge rained and no other way to lower hostility, this will be a way for us to lower hostility. It's going to be a rather turbulent way to lower hostility, but that's what's going to happen. And yeah, keeping in mind, 0.3 impatience for that. But as I just mentioned, I think it's worth it. And then we get a 2-star fishing node. But we also have more clay, which I do want to work on here. So, yeah. Let's put these beavers here. These foxes will think about what we want to do. But let's first extend a path here. And we do want to think about the use of tools to open up these caches, but until that moment. So we don't have any mushrooms. Would have been interesting, but I think we'll take the plant fiber instead. That'll be, well, for relevant use case, that'll be at least 40 to 60 plant fiber I can use. It's going to be a lot more than that, but I think you understand where I'm trying to get at here. And unfortunately, yeah, we just need a bit more resolve to push these lizards to blue, but... maybe I should work on that. It will require bricks, and we need those anyway, but we do need the clay to do that as well. So let's make some fabric. We'll try to make bricks. We have to wait on it, but we'll do our best. And yeah, let's get the rest of this food. So 52, we'll need around 70 to 100 pickled goods before we can reliably last the whole year. We can also disable woodcutters to get blue resolve. How many though? 2? Do we need the wood at the moment? Technically, no. Yeah, so we'll do this for blue resolve. In place of that, let's double up on clay production here. This shouldn't hurt us, I believe, but if it does, I'm going to be a bit sad. But yes, we're also looking for brick production at some point, and I need the clay now. That's why I've done what I've done. And for no other reason than when we hit hostility 2, we need an extra point. Although, with the threshold increases, it probably won't matter as much, but we'll see. Yeah, so we're not going to get a full resolve point, but I do want this workshop as well. Maybe I should, let's prioritize the workshop first, and then I'll consider what else I want to do. And with this, as interesting as it would be to sell some of this stuff, I mean, we will need other things as well, and we're going to make more pottery, so this I don't mind. The berries, on the other hand, I'll think of... No, we'll sell it too. We might as well. Was that worth it, by the way? I should have actually checked. Now I'm just curious. 912. So 9, 160, let's just say 170. Was that worth it? I mean, as the trade route levels up, you will get more amber out of it, but if it goes a little negative, again, it's for the purposes of doing stuff. We also want a hearth down here at some point, especially if we're going to continue cutting this way, but we'll need to cut that way first. So, hey. And yeah, we are getting amber if we cut wood, but we're also looking at our resolve and trying to deal with it. We might as well keep ourselves in the blue while we have the pickled goods to last. We will continue to have them, but the point is that there's other stuff to consider. So, we can work on recovering this workshop now, because by the time we nearly run out of materials, quote-unquote, we'll be fine. Is there anything else? Technically, this trout pond, but also this brickyard, so instead... We don't have the clay at the moment, but we might as well have them sitting here at the ready. Although we will need wood again at some point, but that can wait while we are mass-producing clay. Also, it's a bit of a ways walk to this main warehouse, but while these berries are still being picked here... Actually, that's a lie. Let's do this. So, let us put a small warehouse here instead. We'll put it very close, because I'm going to make this hearth here. Especially after we remove the altered decay in a hot moment here, but... Let's consider... Oh, and then that's right, we got blight rot cysts, so we actually need to make the blight post. And therefore we need, well, not just the bricks, but we also need, parts. And manpower. Can we last with that? Actually, we can. And we're not going to get any more cysts, so we don't need the blight post now. So the real question becomes, what do I need right now? Probably continuing to make materials for pickled, yeah, because we're about to run out of pottery here anyway. So, yeah. Actually, we're sitting on some pottery here, so I didn't need to unassign the person I did. In fact, we need an extra one, so that's why I was going to do this. Actually, it doesn't matter, but we have a lizard delivering anyway. But we do want this small warehouse made, so when this... Gonna keep an eye on this. A lot more micromanagement would help out, is what I'm trying to say. But let's at least get this next reputation point, so I can get this blueprint. Out of curiosity, because it tells you how much reputation. I think it's every full point of reputation, the threshold increases, if I recall correctly. Which is why it's kind of valuable for me to be at Blue Resolve, especially as time passes here. But we do need this immediately. We now have a workshop as well, so we don't need this crude workstation anymore. What we will still need, however, are... I'm pretty sure we won't get a blight rot cyst. And yeah, losing that fox means that we lost the... never mind, I'm going crazy. For some reason I thought I wasn't at level 2. But anywho. Out of curiosity, let's actually make farm fields here as well. Will I need it? No, we'll make them as needed. And now we'll move this over here. Far left coming next. And let's see here. Is this retroactive, by the way? No. Question mark no? But while we're sitting here, and yeah, I also have just people sitting here, but let's actually make use of that. So, off we go. Actually, I want this woodcutter's camp to be cutting over this way so we can make the hearth. That was the whole point of us also cutting in, getting into this glade here. And yeah, we're on a need basis, so we do have extra roots and especially copper ore. But we need to be able to make copper bars somewhere. Otherwise, crystallized dew would probably be the next thing. Again, we're sitting here waiting for extra resolve. But during the storm season, we will accept these villagers because otherwise we're just sitting here doing nothing. Do they have any goods I can use? Not really, aside from maybe a plank. Or 2 planks, sorry. But I guess we'll see. And yeah, traders are really slow, so I'm really working on resolve through, or reputation through resolve at the moment. Yeah. But I didn't know I was gonna get the, I didn't know I was gonna get lumber tax, so I guess protected trade would be something to think about, but we'll see. And we do have extra planks. I can make more beaver houses. But let's see. Let's grab this blueprint and then figure out if I need those planks. If I don't see anything that I need planks for particularly, like this plantation, then I can do anything else instead. We're already getting plant fiber, while berries is interesting. Vegetables, grain. Am I going crazy here? What am I doing with my life? Thinking. Let me take a look at what I have. So we have the clothier as well. Deactivate this really quickly. We can use copper ore for dye, if I so choose. I don't think the game would give me the temple. And even if I could, what we need right now are reputation points. I definitely want to make use of this fertile soil. That's what I'm trying to say. And we perfectly have 4 villagers to set up 2 farms, because I'm pretty sure I'll need 2 farms here. And everything seems, well, aside from a few weird things, but so small farm for vegetables, plantation for berries. I'm already getting plant fiber per minute, but making extra would not hurt, I think. Although I could also just set the plantation to do berries primarily, I think, right? Yeah. Otherwise, herbs would be an interesting pick for the purposes of making copper, crystallized dew, but then I'd have to get rainwater. I'd also need to grab more clay, yeah. That's something to consider. We do have a drizzle. We have 2 drizzle water geysers, by the way. Which I actually should have used for the purposes of putting in the granary, I guess. Yeah. And then we have packs of crops here, too. I think I'm going to go small farm. Am I going crazy here? No, we're going to go small farm. If we get a ranch at some point, the small farm will be very, very useful, I think. And if I'm wrong about that, well, we're going to find out. But, yeah, let's get working on these farms. No humans, so all we really can do is just work on these farms. And off we go. But we will take these villagers moving on, although... Yeah, I know, dog. We will grab the... Well, I'll remember, dog. Don't worry. The next thing I definitely want to do is put a small hearth here. We can actually just put it down immediately. We might as well. And yeah, we should have enough wildfire essence. Now, that means the drizzle water geyser will be a bit trickier to use, but I think... And we have some pickled goods left here, so while we're sitting here, yeah, we can also make the drizzle water geyser. Let's make one. Let's see if I guess wrong here. Yeah, I know. We'll work on it. We'll grab more people here. Do I want more lizards at the moment? Well, I definitely want more foxes, so yeah, let's do that. And there goes my resolve, so here's hoping. Partially because, yeah, that lizard has not eaten yet, so... Hey. And, yeah, we'll put these foxes in charge. Oh, you don't need to have automatons. I was just thinking I wanted the wildfire essence to do a thing, but it's fine if we don't. And now we do need the bricks. So let's get working on those, if possible. We also need some shelter, but we can handle it at the moment. Actually, we do need that shelter immediately, but... yeah, and we have people sitting at the warehouse not doing much. I mean, they're hauling, but we don't need them, is what I'm trying to say. So, instead... yeah, lizard house would be in our best interest, but while we don't have that, let's just make some shelters. That's a bit over. Actually, we only need one, so we'll deactivate this and throw this somewhere. But we do want this other shelter. And I think we can handle these cysts. Yeah, because I haven't exactly started using the rainwater yet. So we should be fine, is what I'm trying to say. On cysts. We really just immediately grabbed all of the clay, huh? Huh. Interesting to note. I could cut into another Forbidden Glade next year. So that's, I guess that's kind of my little pattern, is that oftentimes I hear the phrase of cutting into a dangerous glade every other year, starting from year 2. But in this case, if I'm going with small glades on year 2, then I figure cutting into dangerous glades back-to-back, year 3 and year 4, isn't such a bad decision. But well, let me know if I'm going too crazy with my mind. Otherwise, we will need, especially if I use the rainwater here, we will need the thingy, blight post later, soon, this year, because we are already using rain punk, is what I'm trying to say. So let's get that started now. Might as well do it earlier rather than late, especially since I don't even have the materials to use for it. So you know what? Let's just use what we have here. I think there are other things I want. Tell me we don't somehow hit 100%. Okay, no. So instead... there's something else I want to do, and I'm forgetting at the moment, but it's fine, I think. Could also use this trout pond, but since I'm about to cut into a glade and I don't want to just go crazy, let us instead prepare for that. Let's see here. Let's just make sure I know what I'm doing. As I also can continue cutting. And yeah, we need bricks, but we also need plain... no, let's continue making bricks. We're also going to run out of pottery at some point, but we will need... we can probably last on 120 pickled goods for the whole of year 4, but I think for lack of better... just to have more complex food, especially as we get more villagers, yeah, we'll do what we can. Now, the small warehouse being back-to-back on this hearth isn't the most aesthetically pleasing, but none of my settlements have been really aesthetically pleasing, so... Anywho. So, let's find out what I want to do here. Let's... we're about to hit Drizzle here, so... we're also about to cut into a thingy. But let's continue, yeah, let's continue just playing it safe here before we really do anything more. We'll also let this beaver deliver that wood, and then do this. And let's try to open this glade right as Drizzle season hits, and we will, that's probably where this video is going to end. But let's see what else we get. Gain 3 eggs every time a cyst appears, but that's not really going to be too much unless I just start rain punking left and right. Otherwise, we do have food, and the double yield is interesting. So, you know what? Yeah, we're going to be eating more of our pickled goods, but I think we have that set for the moment, so I don't really mind as much. Also, we're sitting on 4 free people, but I need these 2 foxes. We can grab this trout pond, but just in case we see something else, I don't want to jump the gun. I don't want to sell my pottery. Yeah, now that we're... we're going to do it. Maybe that'll be the one thing we trade, but we'll see. And off we go. So yeah, let's cut into Spruce Glade, and I think that's going to be where this video ends. Tell me I have the 2-star node? No, I don't. But we do have this, so we now get super mushrooms. But can we deal with this? Yes, if I focus on goods, and we do need to just take the reputation here. So all the clay we should have enough clay. But just to be safe, we can swerve here. And make crystallized do if I want fox houses. Otherwise, we can also just disable this soon after, just to be super sure. Also, I realized that I could be making bricks in the brickyard, but because we're already using this for pottery, unless we make a second brickyard. Yeah, I just realized my mistake here, so I was just making bricks for no reason. But anywho, what I'm trying to say is now that we also have more clay here anyway, so I didn't need to disable the thing. We can leave it. But yeah, we're probably going to use bricks for this event. Woodcutters, gatherers get minus to resolve. We can do that. Yeah, we can do that because what we can do instead is disable everyone and move them on. But that'll happen in the next video. So yeah, without further ado, if you have anything to say, if you want to say anything, or remind me of something, or even give me advice, you know what to do. Otherwise, this video will be as it is, and I will at least try to consider comments you see. But otherwise, if you want to support me, subscribing would always help out. And nothing else much else to say. I'm not going to take up much more of your time. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye. Look at that makeshift post message appearing though.